What's happening, my beautiful people? You are listening to the Raitrú podcast. I'm your host, Pacheco. Unfortunately, today I do not have my Booyah family with me, but with me I have people that are family. On the episode today, I have two people that I look up to, not only in music, but also as role models in life. I have with me my brothers, Rafael Maya and Charley Rivas. How y'all doing, man?
Good, bro.
We're chilling here in the hotel. We actually tried recording last night with everybody. It did not work. We ended up going to after party here, there. It didn't end up working out, but I came to them today, so we're just chilling out and relaxing. Rafa resides in Puerto Rico right now. Charley is over in Miami. The reason I wanted to have you guys on today was because not only I think when I was doing Bomba, you guys had an impact on me and still do, but I think that you guys also have an impact on other people that you are around as well. So one of the things I wanted to get into today was asking you guys, because this is something that I know very little of. I mean, I know like minor details, but I really wanted to get into it because I know that you guys started music together, correct? Like this was something that you guys ended up,
that is correct,
started the journey together. So I wanted to ask you guys, where did it first start for you guys? I mean, maybe together, whoever wants to start first, but because I know that you guys at one point came together in Bomba, or in the, I guess starting music together. And at one point did you guys converge and decided to start that?
I'll let Rafa mention
okay,
that because he actually, there's a third person who's not with us today.
There's a third person, Johnny
Frias.
Johnny Frias, yes.
In those times he was Johnny Armstrong.
Johnny Armstrong.
Yeah. Entonces now he's known widely, mundialmente como Johnny Frias.
Yeah.
And so he was there when all of this started too, but Rafa actually met him a few months before I met them.
Really?
Yeah. So
like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so, if I remember correctly, it was college?
Yeah.
Was it in college? So you guys were going to college in Florida.
Yeah.
Right?
So you don't have that sound that goes and then we go off on like a trip, we go back to Florida where we have like hair again, and stuff like that, no?
Yeah.
Well, Chino, you're always going to have hair.
Yeah, Chino's always going to have hair.
Who are losing hair. Entonces, in my case, I think it was 99. Yeah. I went home from college for the summer, and I met up with some friends of mine from kindergarten.
This is in PR?
This is in Tampa. This is from Gainesville. I went to Tampa back to where I was raised. I lived in Tampa from like 5 years of age to 18 years of age, and then I went to college.
Then from there you went to college and then came back.
And then went to Puerto Rico.
Oh, dope.
Entonces, I got a djembe and started playing in my friend's reggae group, and he's a drummer,
so dope.
and he started like teaching me, just to play reggae, and then I went back, started taking classes in Santa Fe. I took like a djembe class. I took djembe classes with like masters who were there from West Africa.
That's dope.
I got into like tabla de la India, and I took a bunch of classes of tabla. Entonces, I had a class called World Music in the University of Florida.
Was this like one of those electives? Those like
fillers?
Yeah, it was an elective.
But it wasn't an elective for Johnny, because Johnny was in the music school.
Oh,
exactly.
dope.
So he had to take the class.
Okay, cool. But for you guys, it was an elective.
For us, it was total elective.
Yeah, but for me, it was like...
Yeah, of course.
My main class.
Yeah.
It's like everything else, statistics, like what that was the elective for me, so then...
My major's finance, but that's the most...
Entonces, one of the last days, my teachers from djembe, the guys from Nigeria, they were like residents at the university as like musicians and teachers. Entonces they went to the class, and they did a demonstration, and they asked, can anybody come up, on stage to play with us? And I ran up there, and then Johnny ran up from the other side. And these classes that we had in this university, most of them were like 200, 300 people. So there was like at least like 100 people in that class,
Damn.
We ran down, and then we played, and I saw that he got it real quick. Mm-hmm. And then I already kind of knew it, that kind of style a little bit. Mm-hmm. And so I got it pretty quick. And at the end of the class, Johnny walked up to me and he was like, dude, you play...
so I noticed you got it.
Yeah, he's like, I noticed there's something. You play congas or whatever, tumbadoras. And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. Because to me, like, hand drumming was hand drumming. Like, whatever, like, Mm-hmm. And I was like, I want to play, with whoever. Entonces I went to his house and we started playing, song, rumba, and just different things, and I would go over there like real often, a couple times a week or maybe even more. And we ended up doing a class in demonstration or a little taller in another class that Chino was in, that Charley was in. That it was called.
Real quick, by the way, Charley is also known as Chino, so we could just get that out the way.
So
no, you're good.
You'll hear that a lot.
Yeah.
Because that's what we've called him since.
Parece un chino.
Since the beginning. Yeah.
His brother looks Asian.
Yeah, he's definitely got some type of Asiatic.
Something. Y para los Boricua, all Asian people, they call him Chino, so.
Yeah.
It's all messed up like that.
Entonces, we did this demonstration, right? And then Chino was in the class. What was the class called? Puerto Rican Studies or something like that? Puerto Rican History or...
No, I think you're talking about... I think you guys met in that world music class.
But then we met you in the Puerto Rican class, remember?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, but it wasn't a Puerto Rican class. It was like a Latin American music class. It was a Latin American music class. And they had come in...
What university was this? Or what college was this?
University of Florida.
Okay. Yeah. Dope.
Gainesville, Florida.
Gators.
Hotbed for Latin roots.
Hotbed for, I don't even know, man.
One of the most diverse
So did you guys
cities in the world.
Did you guys kick it off in this class when you guys first met? Like, was it like
Johnny and Rafa came in to do this demonstration? At this point, so they had met the semester before. They had met in this world music class where they both ran down and were part of the demonstration. Then the next semester, I was in a Latin American music class with Johnny, and Johnny took a trip to Cuba, and when he came back from Cuba, he did a little demonstration in the class, right? And Rafa was there. He was part of it because they had already been playing for a few months.
Dope.
So but Rafa the Cuba thing, but this is before that, because Johnny went to Cuba after we were all playing together. Remember? And then he brought back the bata, or he bought the bata.
Oh, and that one's a little funny, honestly.
It's shady. It's like that one, cloudy.
Yeah. Because I know whether Johnny had gone to Cuba before or not, they came in to do like a demonstration of rumba.
And that's when
Rafa was there. And that's when I met him.
And so
that's when I met both of them. Yeah.
So you were right away like, what's
up?
Well,
the thing is like, all right. So I played saxophone in middle school for 3 years, and then I kind of left music because I played baseball in high school. And then when I went to college, I've obviously I always loved music, and I decided to take this elective, And when I saw that Johnny was there, and he obviously was a music major, and he was doing, I wanted to see if I could basically ask him for like lessons for congas.
Yeah.
And then that day that they did the demonstration, they were both there, and that's when I approached Johnny to be like, hey, I just want to learn. Obviously, I grew up listening to lots of soul, super like salsero, and so it was back in the day. I didn't know anything, So I was like, I want to play, like, I want to learn how to play congas, but just do like tumbao and simple stuff,
So you were just trying to do like, you weren't even like focused on what type of genre. You just wanted to.
I didn't know anything about rumba or bomba at that moment.
Okay.
I mean, just like all of us through osmosis and through being in the culture, it's not like they were totally familiar concepts, but I didn't know, anything. I couldn't have told you that rumba is Wawanko and Yambu and Korumba. I didn't know none of that. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't tell you couldn't name you a rhythm of bomba. So I didn't have an interest per se in folkloric music at that point. I had an interest in kind of learning that instrument a little bit, learning tumbadoras. And when I saw Johnny there, I was like, hey, you know, can you teach me something? You know? And then I met Rafa the same day, and they were already kind of going to Johnny's house like 2 or 3 times a week to be in a room for 8 hours and just playing. It's true, though.
It is true.
And then I went, I don't even know. I went to Johnny's, and one lesson was like a little bit of timbal and bongo and stuff like that. And then I went back another time, and then the third time I went, like Rafa was there, and they were trying to play some basic rumba patterns and stuff. And we just started like practicing rumba there.
Yeah.
And then we would do that like 3 or 4 times a week at that point for way too long. And
so you guys kept playing. You guys kept playing together, right?
Yeah.
At one point, so originally I thought that your first group was Rumba Gba when you guys were in PR, but I heard yesterday that wasn't the case. It was Rumba Caribeña or Rumba Caribe.
Rumba Caribe.
Rumba Caribe.
In Gainesville, we started.
In Gainesville,
Yeah.
What was that? How did that start? Like that. So that was all rumba when you guys were doing Rumba Caribe.
So
no,
were you guys doing?
Because Rafa had an interest in bomba, and then so we're talking about like the fall semester is when we started like doing all this, like that's when we started practicing stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then in the spring semester already, because Rafa had an interest and he had gone, I think, and you had already met a couple of people or something. He knew where, so then we were like, all right, so let's go to PR to start learning bomba. So we went in spring break. So it wasn't like we started playing rumba like for 2 years before we got into, no, it was like fall semester we started practicing more of the Cuban stuff because Johnny already knew quite a bit, you know?
You guys had him too.
Right, but no one knew anything about bomba. Rafa had an interest, and so spring break we went to Puerto Rico together to learn bomba, or to start learning.
Exactly.
Who did you guys like take workshops with and learn with when you guys took that trip to PR?
We did workshops with Pablo, with Junito.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, shout out to them. I mean, el doctor Pablo, Luis Rivera.
By the way, Beto Torrens is also
here.
Beto
Torrens
is in the
hanging
room.
out.
Because we're
Chilling.
going tonight.
Jailen Chenlo.
Jailen on the low.
Yeah. And shout out to Felipe and Junito Febres, you know, because without their guidance and without their trust and their faith in us, like this wouldn't have like ever gotten to this level, you know.
Yo.
Because it was always hard to get information about bomba, like
of course, yeah.
in especially in that moment in Puerto Rico.
I can tell you, we went to Piñones to see, what was the place called? The restaurant, the white restaurant.
Yeah, I know.
They played all the time.
It wasn't Soleil. Me and Junito were trying to figure out the name, but it was close to Soleil and Piñones, and that's where we saw Vitito, Hector Calderon with Pablo, Manny.
The first bomba I ever saw was, I think Chamid was there.
Wow.
Pablo, Pipo.
Yeah, Pipo was there,
Pipo,
definitely.
Junito probably was there.
Claro.
I think Victor was there.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
It was ridiculous.
It was ridiculous, and it was
heavy
the
hitters.
first one ever, you know, that I saw live. You know, because at this point I had started listening to stuff, you know, but the first time I saw bomba there, you know, and it was
he was like,
it was, and then not only that, but it was that crew. So
it was that crew.
It was epic. Yeah.
Dude, so my bad, because I want to kind of go in a little bit of order.
Go ahead.
Dale.
No, but I love it. That's perfect though.
We jump mad around, like I jump around hardcore.
So now we're gonna go back.
Yeah, we're gonna go back. So let's go back 8 years. So then, like, we start playing, you know, and practicing and doing stuff, and then we meet. We put a booth out like on a Latin American convention or something in the university, because there were a lot of groups and societies there.
Yeah, this was right before the trip.
Yeah, this was before the trip.
Cool.
So like, we did like before Bomba and like Plan and that kind of stuff that we were like wanting to get into. We were doing like bata, song, rumba.
So it was Cuban. It was a lot of Cuban.
Yeah, different. On top of like the djembe and all that other stuff was like in another. Like we were already just like Cuba and then going to Puerto Rico.
Oh wow!
And so we would play bata like, we would be like
Johnny
on top
had
of
this little book.
Yeah, I think it was the Michael Spyro book.
No, it wasn't the Spyro book.
It wasn't. It was a little book with the little muñequitos on the front.
And it had, it did a.
What is it? What book? What was it?
Bata book.
Wow.
Somebody who transcribed the Batas rhythms.
So you guys were just like.
Yeah, and they did a fairly, that stuff's impossible to truly transcribe, like with the right swing and stuff. But we learned something from it. There's no doubt about that. And Johnny would, read the music and stuff,
he's a music major, so he was able to.
And then we would do the toques.
También musicalmente, like Johnny, being that he was a drumline major, like, and one of the best and like leader, and kind of like right now Mark on Arturo Moon, like in the group, he's also like a super drumline major. Shout out to Ife and the whole crew. So we got this level of like disciplina, like discipline from the beginning. From the beginning. Entonces he was very exigente, like with us, but cool about it. Like like he gave us our space and our time. Like he didn't, but still it was like he was like, this is how we do it. This is what we're doing. We has to be done like this. Like everything has to be in time. Like so, like from the start, it was like already this whole like school, like through Johnny, like which started what you were saying about Rumba Caribe, because then eventually, and this is kind of jumping in the future, but eventually we take that school to PR, which we'll talk about that. We end up forming together, us three with Grego, because we have to mention that as well. He's coming soon. And we formed Desde Cero, Entonces, that whole school and that idea of thinking, or that way of being, or that way of looking at music, that approach, was something that we use like constantly, like as a foundation. So like to me, like that early notion of like the importance of taking this serious and was really important. Not to mention the fact that Johnny's from that, he's studying to be a doctor in ethnomusicology. He's about to finish at CUNY University. Entonces, his whole thing was like, history, like music, dance, sing, like everything. We got to do harmonies. That's where Chino came. Chino was the guy there, and he still is. Entonces,
I don't know.
He's humble, right?
He's so humble. He's so humble.
Unless he's at a restaurant, and then we're not humble. But anyways, I jumped forward a little bit. I didn't want to do that, but
no, you're good.
It goes along with like this whole school and this idea of doing things, So the projects that came out of that, and that will come out of that, because I have no doubt Johnny made a group in the university with a bunch of white people, in the University of Florida. Yeah,
right now,
he made
at that time
because he was like a TA, or he was one of the professors or whatever, and then he had his own conjunto, and then he made this beautiful group out, from scratch. Yeah. Entonces Chino.
That was later.
Yeah, that's later too. Entonces now you see a group like Zona de Bomba. Yeah. Which is Chino's group. Shout out to Zona de Bomba.
Shout out to Zona and shout out to Desde Cero. Rafa is the director of Desde Cero. Charley, aka Chino, is the director of Zona de Bomba in Miami. Rafa's in PR. So you're doing Rumba Caribe. Right?
Yeah, that's where we were.
Yeah,
that's where we were. No, you're good. I'm just trying to, for listeners, I'm trying to paint it up. So you're in Rumba Caribe. You met Charley mentioned something about the name, but I'll get to that. I'll get to that later. You guys are Rumba Caribe. As Rumba Caribe, you guys took a trip to PR, right?
Yes.
You go to Piñones, you see all these these monsters, right?
Yeah.
Bomba.
Our teachers, basically.
We saw something that was fucking amazing, and it was like one of those moments that you cry, you know, when you
And I was just about
experience
to ask,
it,
about to ask,
which is Zona de Bomba and rumbas.
Mm.
And as far as bomba goes, that's, you know, a turning point for the genre. Like that gig on a Sunday night, you know, every Sunday night would get packed as fuck, like with all types of people. And that's where bomba went down, like for real. Like everyone was there. It didn't matter like about making money, like it didn't matter about nothing. It was about like I practiced all week to come into this bate and fucking show my shit, you know. And then that's how it was like in those moments, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, go.
No.
So Rumba Caribe, right? That's
yeah,
where we were.
Yeah, that's where we were.
And then where were we going?
So
we formed Rumba Caribe.
Rumba Caribe.
Because
in Gainesville.
Because we did this booth, right? And we had the booth, and we got these Puerto Rican people who were from Puerto Rico studying over there, and they were interested in what we were doing, you know. And so we ended up going to PR. We ended up taking classes, and then we ended up going back to Gainesville and getting with those Puerto Rican people and actually giving classes de baile y de bomba a gente de Puerto Rico, you know. Entonces, it starts formulating.
Obviously, the little bit that we knew.
Yeah, we didn't know anything.
It was just
we didn't know anything. We just knew that, okay, Sika, this is the one. This is how you play. Like, we knew that. And this
And
is where you
people were
step on the
interested
downbeat. And these are
Mhm.
some piquetes that they showed us. We basically showed what we had learned on our trip.
And the
you know?
trip,
Right,
yeah.
exactly.
Entonces, that concept or that experience of being part of the diaspora and then learning in Puerto Rico and then going back to the diaspora and teaching people de Puerto Rico was a big experience, like, especially, you know, for me, and I know for the guys, and it made me want to like be part of that process more, you know. And then later on, jumping ahead, that's one of the reasons why I end up, you know, moving to Puerto Rico.
And in that process of having Rumba Caribe at Gainesville we had it there for multiple years. Yeah, we had it for 3 years. So we had Rumba Caribe in Gainesville for 3 years. Rafa was there the first year, and then, or a year and a half, and then he left to PR to live over there full time.
He said peace.
And Johnny and I still have
Yeah.
a senior year left.
Okay.
So we did the group, and in that process of meeting all that Puerto Rican community at UF, we met Grego.
We did a show in downtown Gainesville. There's a photo of this.
Yeah, there's a crazy photo.
And we're playing, and on the right you see Grego watching. And there's a big crowd, and we're all playing, and Grego's watching with little dreads. He had little dreads.
Yeah.
And now he's got dreads almost down to the floor. Entonces, he approached us, you know. And me and Grego hit it off real hardcore. It's kind of like that Ife thing about, like, we all know the same music. Like, Beto, we have this, and nature. Like, we're all in this because we have the same musical, you know, inclinations, you know.
I like that word.
So those years were really hard too for us because we wanted to play. We played in the museums and, you know, in Gainesville. We did, you know, Babalao came one time from New York and we did a toque with him, like for some project, you know, like a master's project of some lady who did an altar or something. And
so you guys were playing rumba and you guys were playing bomba as well. You were like playing all these multiple things at these different gigs. You guys got a lot of gigs while you guys were in Gainesville?
Yeah, I mean, for what it... You know, I mean, we weren't also, like, you know, we were a group of students learning, you know, at the school. So we got some gigs as, you know, kind of through that as students there and stuff. And
people didn't really like it there. I mean, we would play on the street till like 3 in the morning and people would throw ice at us.
Oh,
you know,
my
like,
God.
you know, these redneck people would be like chucking ice across the street at us, you know, because we're playing damn bongos.
Them jungle music?
Yeah, damn bongo music that they're playing over there. I don't know. So we went through a lot of pretty cool experiences and not so cool experiences. But all of the experiences were real important, you know, to get us where we're at, you know, which isn't so far. I mean, we look at it now, we're like, you know, him and I and Johnny and Greg, we talk about like what's gonna come, you know, because we still feel like we're just,
of course, yeah,
you know, babies, you know. So this
lots to learn.
Yes, there's a lot to learn, and there's like so many worlds and dimensions to what we're doing, whether it be bomba, whether it be bata, whether it be whatever, you know. So it's like a constant learning thing, and there's always learning experiences that keep us humble. Like it's like the same genre will like give you un cantazo to like learn, like, so we're just constantly, you know, trying to bump up.
Walk me through the transition from rumba caribe to rumba gba. What was that transition like? And
we ended
what
up,
was that process like?
I ended up moving to PR.
Yeah,
you know,
because you wanted to pursue.
I wanted to be part of that. Like I left everything. That's like a whole nother story. You know.
So Bomba grabbed you like that, and you said,
"Yeah, I wasn't happy doing. You know, I was never like, oh, you know, fucking, I'm gonna be like a super psychologist. I love psychology, and I would.
That's what you were studying.
Yeah.
In Chino, you were studying finances.
No, marketing. I was studying
marketing. Okay.
And a minor in sociology. You know? And then like I was trying to do all this stuff, but I really wanted to do music, you know. And then when I felt like when I went to Puerto Rico, I would ask my family about bomba. No one knew. I would ask my friends, my cousins' friends, no, bomba y plena, and there was a real falta de identidad and like falta de conocimiento sobre la cultura de nosotros, like our culture. Entonces, we, like for me, it was part of that influence of the gringos and that whole, you know, obviously the colonial situation.
Of course.
But I wanted to be part of that process of like getting bomba out there, and it was really important, you know, for me to like for everyone to know about bomba, you know, and about our culture, you know, and so I moved, and it's kind of like this love story now that you think about it, but it wasn't so lovey at the time. Like a year later, Grego moves to Puerto Rico. So maybe another time we'll talk more about that situation. But
that was when we graduated.
Okay.
Yeah, they graduate. I don't know if he graduated.
No.
Grego leaves
a year
early.
Younger.
Yeah, he leaves early, and Grego comes to Puerto Rico. Entonces me and Grego are like hanging out every day, all day, like doing music, going to the rivers, caves, doing all this stuff. Slacklining started in Gainesville. Slacklining started.
When I first met Rafa, right away the same thing I did with you. He's like, got up on YouTube, and I said Rafael Maya, right? And I come across videos of him on the beach slacklining. It was the best. It was awesome. That was cool stuff. So you and Grego were like in it.
Yeah, we were in it, bro. We were doing a bunch of bomba. Like we hadn't, you know, we were going to everything. It didn't matter who was playing. It didn't matter what was going on. Like we were at everything. Entonces, the guys graduate, and we all had this dream, bro. We still do, you know. Entonces, because we have this dream, like our caminos and our deseos like align. Entonces, in that moment, like everything aligned, they moved to Puerto Rico.
But let's tell that story though, real quick.
Do it, yeah.
Because so Rafa leaves, and Johnny and I are like halfway through junior year, and so we have like halfway through junior year and senior year, where Rafa's in PR, but we still have Rumba Caribe in Gainesville, and Grego's there.
Okay.
And Abel Valdez.
Claro.
Anyways, yeah.
Shout out to Abel.
Shout out to Abel.
But so we had the group there, and then we graduated, Johnny and I and Abel, and obviously I went to work, you know. So I moved back down to South Florida and started working. And Johnny moved back down to South Florida. Or his family ended up moving to, I don't know, because he didn't move back to South Florida. He moved to South Florida. He wasn't, you know. And then he was thinking about going to culinary school. So now we're talking about maybe 10 months after we graduated. I immediately started working, right? Johnny was then down there doing his thing and working and thinking about next steps and stuff. And then he was thinking about going to culinary school. So this is like 10 months after we graduated. I have a full-time job like with Kellogg's snacks. Like I would put the little Cheez-Its on the racks at the supermarkets and stuff.
Man, I forgot about that.
And Johnny and I were always hanging out, and and we met some people down there in South Florida, and so we stayed in the, trying to find ways to learn and stuff.
Of course.
But, the guys were in PR, and we were over there, and I was getting bored with the job.
Well, I mean...
And we were always thinking about moving to PR to do the group. And then Johnny was, like, going to start culinary school, right? And then I remember this. Johnny had a little spot in, like, Hallandale Beach, and I went over there to hang out. And then we were always talking about doing the group in PR, and Rafa would bother us at least twice a week about moving over there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So I was getting bored with the job. Johnny started culinary school. Like, he had started that week, and we were hanging out, and we were both like, man, we should just go to PR. And do
like
the
that.
group. Like that. And and it was weird. It was just, we were both there, and we were like, and he was like, yeah, we should do that. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, we should.
Wow.
And that's right there is when we made the decision I left my job. He started culinary school in a weekend. He dropped out.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
they let him, it all worked out because he was able to kind of cancel everything before he started paying the full tuition.
Yeah.
But anyways, he had started.
Yeah, you should have left it at dropped out. That would have been a lot more dramatic.
Yeah. But and we went to PR. So then, obviously our parents thought we were nuts.
Totally.
Because we went to do music. We didn't go to, like, I didn't have a job in PR or anything.
No, you just
we both
got
just
up
left with no jobs and moved to PR and got a place, and we just did Rumba Caribe over there in PR now, and we met. Well, you had already met them, but then we needed to add some people to the group.
At this moment, when you guys were in PR, Rumba Caribe was Rafa, it was you, it was Griego. Who else was in the group?
That was so it was us four, and then we were like, all right, so now we got to find a couple more people.
Oh yeah, Johnny. Yeah, I was like,
so Johnny, Rafa, Griego, Charley,
okay.
Yeah.
And then we found Aris Benitez. Shout out to fellow Awo. Our brother, he was the perfect person, for the group. He still is. I mean, I wouldn't have changed that for anything.
Yeah, for sure.
Entonces we got another brother of ours, Kenneth Melendez.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kenny.
Yeah, shout out to Kenny. Yeah.
Entonces you guys know him. He's been out here a lot to Chicago. And Kenny was like, a big brother, Entonces he also had this discipline for music and for art. Imagine we practiced at least 3-4 times a week.
We were practicing a lot.
A lot.
And these guys
5.
came out to practice for us, so that's what.
And he would drive from
Kenneth and Melendez would drive from Ponce.
And leave at 2 a.m. and drive back just for practice.
Yo.
To play with these guys who
That's
weren't
love,
even that
yeah.
experienced and stuff, because obviously he was way
he was way more experienced.
Mm-hmm.
But
he had already
that's
been in stuff for a long
big
time.
brother,
Right.
He was sponsored by
awesome.
Remo, and all this stuff, and so
it was awesome that he was that he wanted to do it. To this day, I'm like, wow, that was a blessing that he.
Yeah, and he loves it. He always talks about it still. I mean, and that's another person that was a perfect person to get, and another person I wouldn't change it for the world. And if we did it again, it would be him. Entonces, we practice so much, we did a lot of original things, arreglos. Johnny's a great writer, rumba writer and songwriter, and he's like this little mastermind guy, so he starts writing, and he's leading us
at this point Johnny's leading the group.
Okay.
He's directing the group, like the bomba part Rafa would lead.
Okay.
And then the Afro-Cuban part Johnny would lead.
What were the bomba songs you guys were doing?
At this point, so check it out. At this point, I start getting emails from Gio.
Yes.
Because we start putting out Well, we formed Desde Cero, rápido. Like after, right, when they get here, we formed Desde Cero with Cesar Mercado.
Okay.
Right after we got to PR, we pretty much started that.
With Elma Pavon.
I didn't know that.
With Grego, and with Gio, and with Cesar's cousin. It's bad I forgot her name, you know. Whatever it is. I love her, you know.
I love her.
But shout out to you. Yeah, shout out to you. But she wasn't. Her name's Nati.
Okay,
and she wasn't so like, you know, she was Cesar's cousin. She was just trying to help out. She didn't really get into Bomba too much.
Okay.
So we formed this group. We put the name Desde Cero because literally we didn't want to compete with anybody. We're like from scratch. Like we just started. We don't want to be because there's a lot of competition and kind of things in Bomba, and also new groups starting in those moments were like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was like.
But we all were learning. We all had this thirst, and we all just wanted to play, and we had that same mentality, that same camino, like together. So we formed it. So. Where was I?
I
just had an Hector moment. Shout out to Hector Rivera. It's like now it's gonna be an Hector moment when you have like the little brain fart.
That's exactly what it is. I was asking you the first Bomba songs Desde Cero was doing.
Oh, good. So then I start getting these emails because we start posting videos of us because we got the Mason recordings and we started doing stuff, and then
those are dope.
Gio.
We had met Gio, by the way, Johnny and I.
Yeah, I started talking to Gio over MySpace, I think it was. Entonces, I couldn't believe how much.
So just to. Yeah. You started talking to Gio through the internet.
And then
when Johnny and I still lived in Florida.
Okay. That is
Johnny
true.
and I still lived in Florida,
that was
right? Before we moved to PR, Rafa met Gio via the internet.
Yeah.
Right, and was talking to Gio about Bomba.
He was in New York, Gio.
Then Gio ends up in South Florida. I don't know why. I don't remember exactly.
I think to literally meet these guys.
Because...
because I was like, my brothers, bro, they're in Florida or whatever, and I think he went over there for something, a surgery or something like that.
He went for something.
Entonces, he stayed there and met up with them. So they ended up meeting Gio physically before I did.
Yeah, so we meet Gio in person before Rafa, but Rafa meets him before because through the internet. He ends up in South Florida. Rafa's like, you gotta meet up with this friend that I have, like... And I'm like, Fred, like,
because it was amazing. He knew crazy. A lot about Bomba, like, because he was really smart and really studious, you know, and like bro, if anybody really loved like what it was about like history and singing, like it was Gio, you know. Entonces,
I picked him up in the middle of the street to go hang out with some people that we knew to play like music. I picked him up in the middle. I'm telling you that I don't know how it was, but it was like, and then. We coordinated it somehow, but he was like on the corner of the street somewhere in Broward County. I picked him up. I've never talked to him. I've never met him. I'm only picking up the guy like, because Rafa's like, you got to meet this guy. And we were gonna go play music, and it all worked out. And boom, we picked them up to go hang out on a pier and play music.
Yo, in the first episode, when I sat down with Booyah, they talked about the impact that Gio had on the group. And how powerful his presence was and his guidance that he had. Like when Rafa, when you brought him to Chicago, that was
when you guys brought us to Chicago.
There you go. That was
that was a great moment.
That was a great moment. That was a great.
I mean,
I wasn't around, but seeing the videos and hearing the way they talk about him and the way they talk about those moments that they had.
Yeah, dude, it was really short. We were here for like 3 days.
Yeah.
But we didn't get to do a lot of classes. We didn't get to. But what we did get to do was really hang out, with you guys, like, and build a relationship. There was a day that we did a night that we did talleres, and I remember I went down into Berto's basement. And I was doing the percussion stuff, and then Gio stayed with like Lauren and Evie.
And Evie talked
upstairs.
About staying up super late singing with him.
Yeah, and then we had like 3 hours there where we did a lot of good work. And he helped them with like pronunciation stuff and like how to like hold out certain notes, like to get it more like a older bomba feel, I guess. Where he was, so it was cool, and also the fact that, you know, we got to see people in the diaspora doing something, you know, positive, and that they've been doing for, you know, a lot of you guys since birth, you know, and at least in Piro and Evie's case, you know, and so it was inspirational for us as well to be part of that, and then it was a big effect, you know, that moment, it was a big effect on Buya, on Puerto Rico, you know, on this connection with the diaspora. It opened up, you know,
that was years later from that moment.
That
was years later.
I just had to put that in because we talked about him in the first, and so I just kind of wanted to.
Yeah, because Rafa's movie timeline here.
Yeah, I didn't want to do that, but you know, I told you it would jump around. But so going back, we had a gig in Showtime. We prepared for this gig, and then for
that Gio helped us get. Yeah, by the way,
that because he was working there.
He was working there.
Entonces we did all this promotion. Chino did the flyer.
This is gonna be the first Rumba Caribe show.
Okay.
So we started at Desde Cero, and Rumba Caribe were kind of, but Rumba Caribe played rumba and bomba, and then Desde Cero was just bomba. Right. Yeah. Exactly. But we were gonna do our first show as Rumba Caribe.
I need to write out this timeline. It's interesting. No, it's cool because I used to think they were pretty separate. Yeah. But I never knew that they were formed around the same time.
Claro, yeah, they were, because it was just so much hunger, bro. Like, that's what it was. You know, we wanted to play. Like, bro, we didn't make money doing it. Like, we didn't even care. Like, that wasn't even a thing. Like at all. Like, we really just wanted to play and have fun and do our thing and have other people hear like what we were doing and compartir, you know. Entonces we did that gig and we didn't have a bomba singer because at that moment, like, you know, Grego was still learning, he was still getting, and Chino was still learning. Yeah, I mean, imagine these guys. He's desarrolló eso bien cabrón.
Yeah. An amazing voice.
So we had Grego in Rumba Caribe. We had Grego singing bomba, right? Yeah. I sang one or two, whatever, and then Grego also sang. But
well, in Rumba Caribe, mala mía, we only had like 3 bombas or 2 bombas.
Yeah, we didn't do a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
Gio sang and Gio danced rumba. Remember that?
Yeah.
Dope. I didn't know that.
It's true. Yeah, you're right. Grego sang more in the Desde Cero at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Entonces Gio comes to the Desde Cero as well. You know, he's also like there. He was there at the beginning.
But he was technically in Rumba Caribe before.
Yeah, he was in Rumba Caribe before the Desde Cero because we didn't have him like in the Desde Cero yet. You know, and then we were like, man, like we need him in the Desde Cero too. You know, I mean, obviously. Entonces we together, all of us really together. Like I finally get the Mason recordings. It was a big deal. Yeah. You know, I found them just like up in a box in Tato Conrad's museum, and I couldn't believe after being there for like years, I didn't notice that they were there. Yeah. And then I recorded them, and we started studying, like all night listening to that and finding songs, and that's how we desarrollamos.
These recordings, by the way, are incredibly old and very hard to listen to because they're wax recordings, and so when you're listening to them, it's really difficult to. How old are those recordings?
What, like 1914? Yeah, 1915.
So the quality is not too great, but listening to them and trying to like sort of decipher and break everything down is like, it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's difficult, but the stuff that you're able to get from those recordings, you know, really help a lot. When I first started taking workshops with Buya, Berto gave me those recordings and he said, listen to these. And at first I was like, what the fuck? What am I? What is this?
I know.
But then as time passed, and you know, they started breaking it down, and so the fact that you were able to get your hands on those like that, like that's.
Because that for us and for the Bomba period was like the holy grail. Like,
oh yeah.
How are you gonna find those recordings? Like we never were able to, you know, get those recordings. No one had those recordings. It was real holy grail Indiana Jones type stuff.
Very.
Entonces, we were real hungry for that because we wanted to do different stuff. Like everyone was doing these same songs, and for us, we wanted to do different, but we weren't ready to like write originals at that moment. I wasn't, no one was trying to do it,
Yeah, we weren't trying to write original bombas.
But we were trying to get old bombas. We were trying to get old rhythms. We were trying to rescatar stuff and bring stuff, back and do something different. So that's kind of the direction we went. Gio and Grego were like, always hanging, like they both lived in Bayamon, so like they hung out a lot, and they, singing wise, they helped each other a lot. They listened to a lot of music together. They practiced. Grego was already a musician. He had played, I think, trumpet.
And he played a little bit of bass.
Yeah.
Okay.
Entonces, like, even in Gainesville, like, we would have him come to the ensayos with a bass guitar, and we would, in a rumba, we would put him on bass, and he would lug, like, fucking amps, like, down 5 floors of stairs. We would also break into where we practiced. Another cool little story is we practiced in the music building in the university, and we would break in.
Now.
Okay, this
is
Gainesville.
We would break into the music building every night, and we would be in the music building practicing.
Yo, y'all were breaking up.
Yeah, we would jalar la puerta real hard, and it would just pop right open.
Yeah, there was one that was kind of loose. It was supposed to be locked. But it
Who
was
figured that out?
Johnny, I think. So we would be outside doing slackline. Johnny would get there, pop the door open. We would all go in and just practice for mad hours,
Y'all never got caught? There was never.
Yeah, but we weren't doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, one time we did, but honestly, Johnny was a student there, and there was one professor, I think, that was kind of like, leave them alone. Yeah. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were really fieru, bro.
Yeah.
Like, we really shit, bro. Yeah. And that's why I get pumped up at people like Anthony Sierra. Shout out to him. People that I see who are, people who are a little bit younger, who have that fiebre. Like we still have that fiebre, but not like before. Like, so when I get to be able to see people like with that
it's
fiebre,
different now.
It's
different. It's still a fiebre, but it's different.
Yeah, it's different. But I get really inspired, by like the young.
But we know that young fiebre for sure.
Yeah.
Y'all talking like y'all old men.
Huh? Well. Yeah.
Nah, and it kind of went like that, bro. We did a couple gigs. We got support in PR. Like the Rumberos went out to our stuff. Hip hop guys. 79 went out there.
This is Desde Cero?
Hector Calderon. No, this was the Rumba Caribe.
Okay.
Yeah, we did our first. Oh, that's a good one
it
too.
Changed
that's a good story to tell, by the way.
That?
Huh? Well, even before we changed to Rumba Gba, we did a couple of shows as Rumba Caribe. Claro. That's how somebody found out that we were doing shows as Rumba Caribe. But I remember that we did the first show in Showtime.
Okay.
And it was great. It was great. It was amazing. It was an amazing experience. And people showed up, and it was full. And I remember Cesar was there, and a bunch. It was amazing. It was an amazing night.
Yeah, it was great.
And but then I remember the second time we had our second gig at Showtime, still as Rumba Caribe, right? And that's the night that the Rumberos showed up.
Oh, the second one.
To do their scouting report.
Scouting report.
Yeah. That's the night they showed up. And then there wasn't many people, bro. There wasn't many people, dude. So we're going to get ready to play. There's not a lot of people. Someone's knocking.
Dale. We good.
There's not a lot of people, and we're about to start.
Mm-hmm.
And through the door comes Hector Calderon. and like
yo,
hey, what's up, man?
Happening, sir? How you doing?
Good, man.
Chilling. Hola, ¿cómo están? Yo, Ife crew just walked up into the room.
Nice. What's going on?
Anthony Sierra, we were just mentioning you.
Yeah, we were just
Yarimi
talking about
Caban,
Mima.
You summoned us.
Yeah. So this second show, the
second show. The first one was great. A lot of people came out and stuff. Second one was a great show too. It wasn't, but not a lot of people came. And then that was the one where like the Rumberos showed up.
Yeah, I didn't remember that. That's awesome.
They danced.
Dude, let me tell you this. We're about to start, right? And through the door, like Hector comes in. Hector Calderon walks into the door. There's nobody. I think Totin came, and basically Uaire at the time like shows up for the most part, right? And there's not many people, so now we're playing the second show there. Basically for them, because there was nobody else there.
Yeah, the first show was packed. It was great. The second show was just like,
it was like, nah.
It was like there.
Yeah, and it was obvious that, they've heard about the first one. They were coming to see what was up. But we already knew him a little bit, so it wasn't like we had just met him. We already had hung out with Hector and stuff, obviously, through.
Yeah.
But we were nervous, you know.
Of course, yeah.
These guys, you know, for us. And
we
they still
looked
are.
up to them.
You know?
Yeah.
Shout out to
We look
Hector,
up to them.
Yuaire, Hector Calderon, otro abo, maestro.
So they show up, to just, so we basically played the show for them. Everything was great because obviously, great at that for us at that time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But we were rehearsing all the time, so everything was so that it. And I remember that we ended the show with a Columbia.
Okay.
We ended the show with a Columbia, and Hector de momento, right? Like gets up and starts dancing Columbia. Yes. Nobody's there.
Man, I didn't remember.
Nobody's there. There's not more than 10 people at this gig.
Wow.
They stay the whole time. We take a break. We did 2 sets. We took an intermission. We hung out with them. The last song is a Columbia we do. And then Hector gets up and starts dancing Columbia. Yes. And that's when we were all, in the middle of the song, we were all looking at each other like... like, that was an incredible moment.
That was
a great moment for us.
Whether it was whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
It was what we could do at the time, you know, but it was still an amazing moment that, you know,
to show that love,
he
that
got
support.
up and danced Columbia there. You know, like, it was amazing. You know, so that was like a really big moment. You know.
What was the change from Rumba Caribe to Rumba Gba?
All right, do it.
Because I want to say this.
Go ahead.
Now we did these shows, you know, we were getting a little bit, you know, we were doing stuff. We had a little presence on social media as well.
MySpace.
Yeah, MySpace, but
right.
we were getting presence,
Shout out to MySpace.
You know? Shout out to MySpace. Rest in peace. So I got an email. I don't know if it was me or one of us got an email from the director of this group called Rumba Caribe. And they were basically saying that we could buy for like $1,000 the name, or that we couldn't use the name. Entonces we go and we check in the registry in the Departamento de Estado, and they had just registered the name, you know, like a month before or whatever. Entonces, you know, shout out to Rumba Caribe.
Yeah.
You know,
they play, by the way, they
play Hibaro or whatever.
Yeah.
And I told the guy, I'm like, you guys don't even play Rumba. And, no, I said no. I'm like, whatever. Dieguito plays in that group, you know, shout out to Dieguito Centeno, another master.
Yes.
And there's all love. I mean, we had to change the name. It wasn't the first time. I mean, it was the first time, but it wasn't the last time. But it wasn't the last time.
It wasn't the last time.
Because right now they tried to steal Desde Cero's name, and we had to
Word.
go. They made a magazine called Desde Cero, and we had to go and do this whole thing. But that's something that constantly will happen. There's another Booyah in Mexico. There's another Desde Cero in Mexico. I mean, you know, whatever. But you got to inscribe your stuff.
Of course.
We learned that. We learned that the hard way.
Right.
So we made the name Rumba Gba because it was
overnight, pretty much.
We didn't know how to make names. You know, we were like, Rumba Caribe, like, you know, we want Tumbador, you know, lightning
names
Tumbador.
Were not
like,
the strong suit.
It wasn't our strong point. You know,
well, what was that name, bro, that we had, like the metal band name that you wanted to say?
I could only imagine.
If I remember during this thing, I'm gonna say
bombastic explosion, you know, like weird stuff. And then we put like Rumba and like the Gua from like Bomba.
Well,
you know?
we always used to say Rumba Gba amongst ourselves as like that's Rumba Gba. Like
but
for
that
the
didn't come later.
Thing.
Oh, okay.
Well, I thought it was all Abagua.
Yeah, that was part of it.
So then maybe it was Abagua.
That's what.
Yeah.
But then when we had to make the change,
because we wrote a K. So maybe it was.
Yeah, we wrote it with a K. It was because when we originally used to do it, it was like, oh, we're Rumba Gba, like because like Abagua and whatever. It was a stupid play on words.
Yeah,
it doesn't even make any
sense.
Inside
joke.
But anyway, we would say that like if we made a joke or something, or Chino did something like, you know, he jumped off this big rock into the it was Rumba Gba, you know, like we would use it as like. Or like something would happen to Johnny, like he would get lost in China or something. We'd be like, that was Rumba Gba, you know, like he got lost. What happened? We
gotta make that
like,
a thing now. We gotta make that a thing
now. Yeah. So it was basically, you know, a term that we used. So you know.
So then we decided to just do it.
Just put that
because we had a radio interview the next day or something. Yeah, so we needed a name.
You needed the name.
We did in Radio Universidad,
Yeah.
and there's video of that. Gio sang a song there.
Is that on YouTube?
Yeah.
What's the video called?
Rumba Gba.
On Radio Universidad.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
It's out there, yeah.
And that's where we first sang. Olele, ya no tiene
que llorar. Yeah.
Gio sang it.
Yeah.
On Radio Universidad.
Ripped. Ripped.
It was nice. Adi was there.
Me and Adi were on the drums. Like it was beautiful. You know, it was beautiful. Those times were beautiful. You know.
So then, you became Rumba Gba like that, right? Bam.
Mm-hmm.
You kept going Rumba Gba, and you, Rafa. I want to learn. At what point did you guys sort of part? Because Charley, you're in Miami now. Mm-hmm. Charley, you are Zona de Bomba, and I want to know at what point did Charley step out?
Leave?
Yeah, did you step out?
Why don't you say that?
At what time did you step out of Desde Cero? Was Desde Cero and Rumba Gba still going, and then Rumba Gba kind of just
and then
people moved, and then
right.
Johnny stayed a little longer.
Johnny stayed a little longer, yeah. But so we were there doing all that stuff, Rumba Caribe, Rumba Gba, and then it was like a year and a half. Mm-hmm. And after a year and a half, I decided to move back to Miami to go to grad school. Actually, no, I decided to move back to Miami, and then I decided to go to grad school.
Yeah.
But I moved back to Miami because it just got to the point where I thought it was the right thing to do.
Of course,
right?
yeah.
So
you show up to Miami.
Yeah.
Did you start Zona de Bomba right away, or what was no?
So this would have been 2006.
Okay.
That I came back.
Okay.
Or 2007.
Okay.
Late 2007, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I came back in 2007, and then I started grad school like the fall or the following year. I started grad school in 2007, so this is 2006.
Okay.
Came back. Wasn't really doing much music, at that point, because I was trying to figure out what I was gonna do. Right. Then I decided to go to grad school at FIU in Miami, and I had some people that I knew from PR, like Alan Ramos, and Alan Ramos knew JJ Freire. Mm-hmm. And that's when I first met JJ and Alan and started meeting some of the Miami music scene, but I was in grad school and I didn't have a lot of time, so I did as much as I could, but that's where I started. I didn't have a group or anything at that point, but that's where I started meeting people in Miami and connecting with people down there and looking for ways to continue studying, Afro-Cuban stuff. But after I graduated from grad school, I moved to Charlotte for work, North Carolina. Mm-hmm. So then I was gone for a year over there.
Where, Charlotte?
I had to for work.
Yeah.
I spent a year there and I came back. And when I came back from Charlotte to Miami is when I really got more into music down in Miami, and I really started looking for teachers and stuff to continue learning Afro-Cuban stuff and all that. So that's when I left. But Zona de Bomba doesn't start until 2011.
And why did you want to start Zona de Bomba? Like, what made you want to start that group?
Well, at this point.
Or what made you want to make that Bomba group?
Yeah.
Like, because the majority of your interest is Cuban, right? I mean, you still like Bomba, but what made you? From hearing this, I would think, he started another rumba group or something, but you started Bomba.
Yeah.
Why? What was
well, remember, right? So when I came back from Charlotte and I was in Miami, there's no Bomba in Miami at this point.
Okay.
And so there's no one I can really learn from in Bomba in Miami. I don't have any Bomba teachers in Miami. I studied what I could, which was I could find teachers for Cuban stuff. You know what I mean? And so that's it. Wasn't a lack of interest in it. It was simple fact that I didn't have like a teacher that I could keep going. The resources. Right. So what I would do to continue learning stuff would obviously always be in contact with Rafa, because Desde Cero was over here and stuff like that. I would come over, often, to PR often and stuff like that. But I didn't have a teacher in Miami or anything. But I was learning a lot of the Cuban stuff. So we're talking now from 2000 2007 to 2011. That's like 4 years. And in that time, I meet JJ, you know, Jose Javier Freire, and we're hanging out and we play music, and you know, he's got his thing and whatever. But you know, one day we started getting closer, you know, and then we were like, man, there's no bomba here. Like, we just need to do something, dude. We just need to do something. So there's a presence of that here. It doesn't make any sense that there isn't, you know. There's not a huge Puerto Rican community in Miami, but whatever, we're here. Yeah. You know, let's do it. You know, and it was originally just to start playing bomba because we didn't, you know, we didn't have it, and we wanted to just start playing. And we had a couple of people who were interested, right? And so we just kind of started from there, very simple, you know. The Zona de Bomba thing in 2011.
Why are y'all called Zona de Bomba?
Well,
like, how did that name start? Like, what was the...
Because Toting shout out to Toting.
Shout out to Toting.
Yeah. Well, Toting is there in Miami, right? And I'm telling him that we're gonna start this bomba thing, JJ and I and stuff. And you know, Toting goes on un viaje for
Zona Bomba, Zona Bomba. África es la raíz.
Yeah. And he writes like word combinations because he's always like how little word combinations sound together and stuff. And he ends up writing on the paper Zona Bomba. And I'm like, man, you know, yeah, but I just like he wrote it, but I didn't immediately. But then I thought about it for a little while, and I was like, and he left, and then JJ and I thought about it, and we were like, there's something there, and whatever. And then we were like, Zona, all right, well, how about like Zona de Bomba, right? And JJ's into like, you know, words that can mean different things and stuff like that too. So he was like, yeah, I think that's kind of cool. Like, you know, Zona de Bomba could be interpreted in multiple ways, you know.
What multiple ways?
Bomb zone, literally, right? So like, whatever. Being in the zone, right? You know? So that's how we got. It's not a fantastic story, but that's how we got to it.
Sí, porque está todo.
Yeah, so like when you think of the zone, dude, you kind of think of this area that you're in another dimension, and then
a lot of people didn't like the name, but we kept it because we were like, whatever, we're keeping it, and that's it.
And it worked
we
out.
have thought about changing it multiple times.
Yeah. I kept telling him, yo, change it and stuff. He's like, no, you know, and then whatever, it just stayed. Johnny Pacheco. I just wanted to mention one of our super influences and teachers as far as when we were in Puerto Rico that it's real important to mention was Ivan Davila. Aside from Pablo, Junito, you know, all the people, all the Hector Calderon, Vitito, all the usual suspects, we had, we would go to Ivan Davila's house like often, and we would be there for a long time. Shout out to Maestro Ivan Davila.
Yeah. And he played with Rumba Caribe a couple times.
He played with us. He played with
We had a gig where Kenneth couldn't go, and he played Quinto. Ivan Davila.
Yeah, he's a great rumbero, great dancer, singer, drummer. I mean, he showed me how to make barriles. He's the best barrilero, you know, barril maker. Yeah. And so, you know, he's real important. I wanted to mention that. He just came into mind.
That's love.
Yeah.
I wanted to know, you know, when I was first talking to, you know, to Booyah, and this was something I was thinking about more often, is like, you know, those first times playing bomba, and first time playing music, you're gonna go through these different experiences, right? I wanted to know for you guys, this is something I love asking people too, because I love hearing these stories, is what was your most embarrassing moment in bomba, whether it was bomba, whether it was like in you know, Rumba Caribe, Desde Cero, Zona de Bomba, like for maybe together or individually, what was your most like cringe moment that you had?
What was the question, dude? Man, I guess Chino. I know Chino's moment.
Oh no!
Really?
You gotta tell it.
You gotta tell it. You gotta say that.
We were
get your bomba stories here on Raitrú.
Chino was, you know, he was desarrollando his singing really well, and I think You were already living.
Le salió un
I know
gallo.
where he's going
Yeah.
with it too.
But this was his most. To me, you know, I wish. I'm gonna think about mine because I'm sure there were many. That in his case, I remember this moment. There was a bomba competition that they do in Loíza. And then I pressured him a lot, you know. I pressured him a lot. I was like, it was me and him there, and I pressured him a lot. I was like, bro, do the singing competition, like, you know, like you're just starting out, but I think you do great, you know. This is perfect. Like, there's someone
you get third place.
You know, it's not like the pro singers were up there competing. They were up there like being the judges. And Entonces he was like, fuck it, you know, I'll do it, you know. And
were you nervous, Charlie?
Yeah.
You know, he did great, but he got second place, you know. And then, you know, regardless of why he got second place, like, we both were like, what the fuck, you know.
Yeah,
like,
you got second
place.
place.
You did great, you know. Yeah. But it was an embarrassing moment because, you know, it seemed like, you know, I don't know. Was that an embarrassing moment for you? I mean, he got really upset.
The thing is, I took it hard.
Yeah, he took it hard, and then I saw that. Cesar saw it.
I took it hard because I agreed to do it, but I wasn't like super pumped about doing it. And yeah, they were kind of, and I did it, man. But it wasn't a bad experience in the end. You know, it was good. But and it wasn't embarrassing. You know, it just
all right, scratch that story.
But I took it hard, and these guys actually thought I was kind of overreacting. I think,
yeah, he did overreact.
You're very competitive.
Yeah, that's the thing that I think that the embarrassing part was that we saw how competitive he was, and you know, but he wasn't embarrassed. So I don't know what my most embarrassing moment was. I think it was really embarrassing one time for me. I was giving class in Arthur Moray, and Hector Lugo de California went to take the class, and I didn't know who he was, you know, and I saw him doing some dance, and I was like, no, like, you gotta go with the beginners. You know, and him being so humble and such a great person that he was like, okay, yeah, I guess he saw that I needed to work on something, like. But then when I realized, or Shefali, like, at the end of the class, like, introduces him, you know, who he was, I was like, damn, you know, I felt so embarrassed, you know, because who am I, like, you know, like, to do that.
Yeah, you did that to Hector?
Yeah, fuck you, man. but I mention it because to me, you know, like, right now, like, I look up to Hector, you know, he's a great musician, and I look up to him a lot because he does it on his own. Like, he really goes out of his way to learn things right. And,
they're good people. Shout out to him and Shefali.
Yeah, shout out to the whole, you know, the whole crew. Bay Area crew. You know, La Bombera de la Bahía.
Bombalele.
Aguacero, Bombalele, exacto, Bombalele, which is Denise and Julia Cepeda. You know, the kids groups, the Quenepitas, Quenepas. I mean, you have groups who are great, you know, and then, you know, the groups, Southern Cali, all the groups, you know, doing great. Shout out to all of them.
Man, you did that to Hector, man.
Yeah, so that was one of my embarrassing moments. Another embarrassing moment was, you know, that whole thing of, like, being, you know, in my head thinking at the beginning that I knew a lot and thinking like I could play, you know, and I remember people was like, he was like, oh, you play primo? And like he had taught me, and he was kind of like,
oh, did he check you?
Yeah, he checked me. Like, he was like, oh, you play primo? Está bien. Come do a gig with Son del Bate in Café Seda. And then I went, and it was just like 4 or 5 of us, and then he put me on primo. And he's like, you play primo, right? And dude, I remember like being on that drum like with fucking blisters, like bleeding, and he was like, no, you play primo, right? Stay on the drum. You know, and for me it was like embarrassing because but it was a great like cantazo, you know, and then those cantazos, like, I'm real like agradecido like for that, because like I didn't play primo. Like, I thought I played, you know, like and those checks that I got, those straight hockey checks up against the boards, you know, that was
open ice.
Yeah, open ice. It was great, you know.
Yeah, we've all had those.
Yeah, so that was kind of like an embarrassing moment, I guess, for me.
Damn. I love the fact that people checked you like that.
all
That's
the time.
great that he was just
I got
like,
checked all the time.
Word.
You know, yeah, constantly.
Man.
I mean, because I didn't know like a lot of people. Like I didn't know, you know, I wouldn't talk. Like in Puerto Rico, like at the beginning, I wouldn't like talk because I didn't speak Spanish well. So I was always like, you know, like I don't know. I got checked a lot, bro. You know, I got checked a lot. Hey, you did this. Hey, you got to do this. You got to do this.
I mean, it's part of the learning process.
Yeah, it's part of the learning process. But it was really good. Like I wouldn't take any of those checks away.
It's definitely the whole, you know, PR and in the Cuban stuff too. It's part of it. You can't learn it if you can't go ahead and, you know, take un cantazo because you're going to. You're
gotta take those.
You're gonna be in the middle of a tambor, and you think you play, you know, oconcolo, you know, and then there's a singer that day who's next level singer, and all of a sudden he plays some fundamento. You don't know what the hell is going on, and if you're not there with your boys, and they don't look out for you, and they want to test you, they just don't even look at you. Cajero starts, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm screwed.
Were you?
And then the cantante looks and everyone's like, oconcolo. Yeah, bro, there's no. And then you're sitting there and you're sweating like crazy because you don't know what's coming next. And that stuff is part of it.
Yeah. Was there ever a moment where you were tested in Bomba?
In Bomba, like checked in Bomba. Man, no, but I can tell you that there was one time that Vitito asked me to play a gig with him. Yeah, and it was just
at the park.
We went to the military base.
Okay.
We went to the military base to play, and
for those that don't know, Vitito is real deal.
Yeah,
Vitito is real
master.
Master.
So I was, you know, it was great. That he asked me to play the gig, you know. And I went, and I played Burial for the gig, you know. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? That was a test, you know.
Yeah.
That was a test because, you know, and I wish I had more experiences like that in Bomba, you know, but obviously being out of PR.
Of course. You
know, and not in a Bomba, like, you know, more of a community where there is Bomba, like Chicago or New York, you know.
Yeah, but you building that, man. That's, I mean.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, I wouldn't mind having more of those moments in Bomba.
Of course, yeah.
Because I know I've gotten a lot of them in the Cuban stuff. You know, but it's because you know I've been in an area where I can be challenged there. You know what I mean? And there's just no Bomba in Miami, so it's not that there's not someone who can.
Of
there's
course,
just none.
Yeah.
You know, so you know I haven't had as many of those moments in Bomba.
That's so dope. I want to take the moment to thank you guys for agreeing to do this. You know, I reached out to Rafa how long ago? Maybe like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, like a year ago.
Yeah. And I was like
2013.
Back in 2013.
And you agreed, and then you said Chino's gonna be in town. I said I have to figure this out. Right away, I reached out, and then working out. I want to thank you guys for taking the time for.
Dude, you're not cutting us off right now, are you?
Oh shit.
Hey.
Okay, my fault.
I got more stories.
Diablo, okay.
There's a 60-minute time limit. Man.
I was wondering if you could stop talking, my friend. It was very much good if you could just stop it.
I think it's been 2 hours anyway.
Diablo.
Well, I mean, you know.
No, I don't know. But at least an hour for sure, right?
Yeah.
I told you Rafa likes to talk.
He's got a lot of stuff to cut out.
No, I like it.
No,
I was just watching out for your time, you know.
There's just so much more.
No, we can.
agree.
So one of the things. So check it out. One of the things about this podcast that is difficult is that we can, when we sit down and talk, we can sit down and talk for hours and hours.
You know what I think would be cool?
Dime.
I think it would be cool if and maybe you do another round with like even older some of the people you've already. I think it would be cool to capture like some like musical approach, like to talk about, like to get deeper into music. You know what I mean?
Let me write that down.
I think that would be cool. That hasn't really been done. You know, like you could document from a lot of people whoever will sit with you, like a deeper conversation about approach in bomba, or or why you have this approach and how you got to it and who'd you get it from, and you know what I'm saying?
That's one of the things I touched on when I did the second episode with Denise. Like looking at sort of the bomba lineage. Like you learn from somebody, and that person learns from these two people, and then those people learn from here, and it just keeps going.
And how that impacts language, approach,
exactly.
everything.
Like the way. And the way it changes as well from person to person. It's like playing a game of telephone. Like it's gonna be taught one way, and that person's gonna grab it, and it's either gonna be almost the same, or it's gonna be the same, and then just maybe something little is tweaked. But then by the time it gets to maybe who knows, it can be like a totally different animal and a totally different. One of the things I really enjoy, like whenever I go to Puerto Rico, is like to see how it's changing so fast. Like the work that people are doing out there, like it's the way bomba is moving is just like
yeah. In PR, it's great. It's moving really fast, and I'm happy that there are a lot of people interested in it. And and it's safe to say, I think Evie said it the other day. It's not gonna die. Bomba's not gonna disappear, and I think it's safe to say that, because of the amount of people who have made it a priority in their lives, because of the amount of people who continue showing it to their children, who continue giving classes. I think it's gonna.
Besides Desde Cero, you're also a part of.
I'm a co-director of Restauración Cultural.
There you go, yeah.
Alongside Pablo and Junito. I play in tambour. We started that group a long time ago, Marien.
She's in Orlando right now.
Yeah, shout out to Marien, Torres, and Alsuba. The girls are doing their thing, giving classes, performing in Orlando with the good people from Orlando. I hope all the Florida people are out there having fun. Tamboyer.
Tendencias.
Yeah, Tendencias basically happened because, I started that with Johnny and with Amaury, to basically have a group that we could do like lower paying gigs, so have like a cuarteto of bomba. I don't know if that was a good idea or not, because I think that having cuartetos of bomba, unless it's really good, really tight, is just kind of like bringing down the game, and also bringing down like the budget that the places pay for groups. In turn, what's going on now is there are a lot of groups that are quartets, even groups that weren't cuartetos before, like
they're starting to do that now.
Are cuartetos now.
Bomba Evolución,
yeah, Bomba Evolución, because there's no way that you can gig.
He also does the cuarteto.
Yeah. So, nowadays most groups have a cuarteto, but in my Ubaire, they'll get a lower paying gig and he'll just invite like 4 or 5 people, instead of 10. And the difference in this is that I wanted to put a different name because I wanted it to be specific that it's a different concept. Like 4 cats don't represent Desde Cero. Like Desde Cero is Desde Cero. So I put Tendencias because I like the name, and the idea was to do different tendencias in bomba, like different tendencies from different groups or different people and different styles. So that was the idea from the beginning. So we did that.
I didn't know that.
I was in Bomba Evolución for a while with Vitito. I was in his other group called BE Jazz, Bomba Evolución Jazz. Fernando Garcia's jazz group. I dance with Zona de Bomba and sometimes get a chance to play.
You're also part of a real cool group.
Yeah, there's a group now that's kind of funky.
Yeah, there's this really cool group that you're a part of now that's kind of like, I mean, you guys are aight. You know what I mean? It's called Ife, but tú sabes.
Yeah, Ife is real cool, man. It's a blessing.
Like, for whoever's listening, you have to check out Desde Cero. You have to check out Zona de Bomba. You have to check out Ife.
You have to check out Caravali, Sammy Gascot.
Yes.
He got me in the group Caravali, his group, a cajon group, and then Beto later asked me to be part of
La Liga
Rumbera, and we formed another concept called Omoifa, which is like a rumba duo, and so then comes Ife, thanks to that whole movement of going back to rumba, because I wasn't playing rumba for a while.
Yeah.
I wanted to focus on bomba. Entonces now I'm back, and then we have this, Mark calls us to do this project. Mark Oturamun, DJ Nature, Marcolino. He's got many names, many forms. But he had this, vision, and we all believed in it, and we all aligned, and it's a real cool concept.
So check it out. If you enjoy electronic music, and if you enjoy folkloric music, Afro-Cuban music, either or both, you have to check this project out. I mean, like, it's the combination and what you guys are doing is very important.
Thanks.
Very important, because you're bridging that, and people have tried and been trying, but this, to me, this is like the ahora sí empieza. Like, this is where it's gonna be. One of my favorite songs is Tres Mujeres. I highly recommend that one. That's one of my just hands down that one. Banga, I wasn't too crazy at first, and I was talking to Beto about this yesterday. I wasn't too crazy at first, but as I kept listening to it, and I was figuring out what was happening. What helped me was when I saw you guys perform it. You guys put up a video of you guys performing it, and I was like, oh, Rafa's going and then he's going he okay. Yeah. Like, it made sense, but no, the work that project is really like man, it's just so dope. And so for sure check that out. For sure check out Desde Cero as well.
New CDs, Desde Cero's coming strong this year.
Where can people
Zona de Bomba's coming strong this year.
Where can people reach Desde Cero?
Desdecero.org.
Desdecero.org. On Facebook as well?
Facebook, all that
Instagram?
kind of stuff, Yeah,
I'll put the links for that.
Yeah, I could send you the links or whatnot. Zona de Bomba, got the website, got the
El Face. Do you guys have an Instagram? The Zona de Bomba? A word? Yeah. We gotta put that on too as well. Check out Ife. Check out Tendencias. Check out everything.
Yeah, check out all the groups. Tambor, all the check out everything. Because everything has it's a quina. Exactly.
Of course. Yeah.
Everything's different. Everything has their own vision and their own quina, kind of what Chino was talking about. So it's.
Yeah. Claro. Exactly.
Claro.
That
Miami flair, Miami bass.
Yeah, that's what you gotta say now for Zona de Bomba. Miami flair.
Nah, but I liked it because you can have the flair, like the collars with the 70s, like Miami Vice gear. Like, I'm feeling that, yeah.
That's love. That's love.
Or Miami Vice 80s style.
Exactly. Yeah, I said 70s, 80s.
Miami flair sounds very like Miami Sound Machine.
He wore that. He wore that the last time I was in Miami and we did the gig. He wore like a jacket that was kind of flary.
Oh,
like that.
no. Chino.
His style,
He had the sleeves.
The Miami melting Latin culture.
There you
go. It is that. I mentioned that yesterday to one of the productores last night. I said, these guys are, they got Venezuelans in the group, a Colombian in the group, they got Cuba, they got Puerto Rico, and so they're doing what is Miami, like a melting pot.
In my opinion, Charley has written or Zona de Bomba has like one of the more, like the most important songs. Well, one of the most important, like a song that's really important in the diaspora. La bomba es plena, la plena no es bomba. What was that like?
Laugh, I love it.
Huh?
What made you? I mean, here's the thing. As bomberos, you're always gonna run into people saying, what they say. What do you do? I play bomba. Bomba y plena. No, it's bomba. Bomba y plena. Like there's this constant want to group them together.
Yeah, it's a societal plague.
So
it is.
Exactly where it comes from.
I mean, you're talking about generations at this point, generations in PR that cannot remove those two things from each other. You know, and obviously when you're in this stuff like we all are, eventually you run into this thing and everyone complains about it. What bombero have you ever talked to that doesn't complain about
Eso
that?
obviamente viene de los bares folclóricos del estado. O sea, de Raitrú.
Sí.
Y esos bares folclóricos que durante la década de los 80 y eso no existían grupos de bomba. Lo que había eran las familias tradicionales, o sea, los Alduén, los Allá, los Cepeda, y grupos como Areito, que son del estado, bares folclóricos de ese tipo, que entonces hacían música jíbara y bomba y plena. Pero en la sección de bomba y plena, la sección afro.
Yeah.
Y era así, tú sabes, no era tan fácil encontrar bomba por ahí, tú sabes, había que ir. Yo empecé a hacer un estudio de las fiestas de Santiago Apóstol para el 96, 97.
Wow.
Es un documental que se llama Santiago.
Okay.
Y ahí conocí a Marcos Ayala, que en paz descanse, Ario y todo ese corrido de los Ayala. Entonces ahí fue donde yo primero vi bomba live de verdad. Porque había visto a Areito, porque mi prima bailaba con Areito. Y yo sabía lo que era, yo había visto y conocía, pero verlo de verdad así en un batey de la gente, ahí. Y de repente, por eso es que es tan importante Son del Batey, porque fue esa nueva generación que dijo, espérate, no, esto hay que rescatarlo, esto hay que, en esa época, Coco Baré, Pablo,
shout out to Coco, Hector Baré.
Sí.
He taught me a lot as well.
How long did it take you to write that song? Like, was it just like overnight, like I'm done, this is it, I'm gonna write this song pa que se acabe, or like
I know this is an interesting story because one day I went to the rabbit hole that is JJ's house.
Yeah.
Going to JJ's house is like taking an adventure into a parallel universe.
Yeah. Spaceship.
And we were talking about precisely this topic, you know, and JJ sometimes says things that he just randomly says one-liners and stuff. They're like, oh, we got to do something with that, you know, and randomly we're talking and JJ's like, la bomba no es plena y la plena no es bomba. No te confunda, whatever, que el barril no es conga. And I was like, oh my God, JJ. That's incredible. One of those one-liners, you know? And I was like, that's awesome. And then we're like, maybe we should do something with that. Like, so then I took that and I put it to the melody, you know? And I thought about it for a few weeks. And then I came back one day and I was like, I wrote a song with using that thing you said, you know? And then it went on a trip because, you know, a lot of times too, people, so it's saying two things, you know, it's La Bomba obviously, and then it was great because we were like, what are we going to title it, you know, because we're saying what we're saying, we're going to title it Bomba y Plena. And people are going to and then people are going to see the name of the track and they're going to be like, I want to listen to this one, Bomba y Plena. La bomba no es plena y la plena. And we're like, oh, this is the perfect name for this song. But it also says, you know, the barril no es conga. And obviously, if you're in this stuff too, you know, everybody wants to call everything one thing. If you're in the Cuban stuff there, you look at your tumbadoras and call them bongo.
Los bongoses. Exacto. Tú tocas los bongoses, ¿verdad?
And then they look at a barril and they want to call it a conga.
Yeah.
Right? And then we were like, oh, you know what we should put a conga in it so that people, just to mess with people even more, because you don't even know what a conga is. It's a genre, it's a style of music, you know? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So then we were like, so then we're going to put a conga in it. Because a lot of people, after people heard it, they were like, well, you could have done like that section as a plena, you know? And I was like, yeah, that's true, you know? But actually what we wanted to do was say two things with the song. One, you know, the bomba is in plena thing, and separate that. And then two, not every drum you see is called a conga.
Or a bongo.
Right. This is a conga. And then we put the conga thing.
Damn.
So that's what, yeah. But it was all JJ saying it, and then I put the melody and the lyrics.
I've been wanting to know that for a while. Because it's a great song, man. Like, it's super catchy, too. I could see why it stuck with you, and you ended up making that. Ended up running with it. Yeah, I mean, it works.
Yeah.
It's one of those lines that works out perfectly. So, my beautiful people, this is a wrap on episode. You know, I'm not even gonna say what episode it is. On this episode with my brothers, where can people find you, Rafa? On social
Puerto
media?
Rico.
Puerto Rico, dale.
You can come to Puerto Rico. I invite everyone to Puerto Rico. Great island. You know, I have to do a tourism blog. You know, everything's lovely.
Word, dope. That's love.
Well, thank you, Jonathan, for the invitation.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you for agreeing as well, cause
yeah, I think this is great. I think if you keep it going, it could end up being something that's like a little document that people can reference in the future. You know,
which is one of the goals. Yeah, something I want to do for the diaspora is like highlight people in it, so people know if someone is in some part of the U.S. and wants to start bomba, and if they're near somewhere. Florida, if they're near somewhere in Cali or wherever, and they know, oh, I know this person does this, there's this group, they could get to it easily. Yeah, see, it grows, and we can, pa'lante.
Yeah, brother.
Gozando.
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, John. Thanks to the crew, Chicago crew. All of Chicago crew. I mean, you got the young cats doing some great stuff.
Beautiful
we had
things.
them in Puerto Rico not too long ago.
Yeah.
And thanks for this, bro. Continue doing positive things.
I appreciate
We'll back you up.
I appreciate you.
We don't talk all the time and stuff, but definitely.
And that was one of the me and Charlie, we've talked, pero no así, ¿sabes cómo? And it's something I've been wanting to do for a while with you as well. And especially Rafa too, because we've talked, pero I knew así about you guys.
Yeah, and I listened to the Booyah one too, and I learned a lot of stuff I didn't know about the history too there. So check that out as well.
Word, check that first episode out, because I think that kind of sets up the tone. I was so sad I couldn't have my Booyah family here either.
Yeah, we were too. I think it would have been fun, man.
Yo, that would have been absolute next time. Yes, next time. You can catch me on Instagram at ispacheco, ISSPACHECO. This is the Raitrú podcast. Peace and love.